So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about how you make money with artificial intelligence. And so you see my title already, Mini Apps in the Intelligent Enterprise. And having worked both with IBM Watson as a developer platform for AI, as working with one of the largest ERP firms in the world that does much more than ERP as a hidden secret. We're going to talk a little bit first about what is an intelligent enterprise. And this is important because I know a lot of you are not that enterprise themselves, but they belong to your customer. So what lives at this moment in the discussion, like in the past, you had all kind of on-premise software, you set it up, and suddenly you're bringing everything to the cloud and things live together in an ecosystem. A Microsoft Azure, an IBM Red Hat, an AWS or Google Cloud to name four. But an intelligent enterprise is some company that actually on board level lives a strategy of creating value for customers first. And I know we've heard that a lot, but that doesn't mean that companies that say it can actually execute it, right? That means you need to break down silos, you need to prioritize integration of processes and therefore the technology in that ecosystem that exchange together, and it creates innovation for customers. So if that's what an intelligent enterprise does. How do they use AI? Now we have to go 10 seconds back to the definition of AI as I and my teams use this, right? AI is not one thing. AI is an orchestration of existing technology stacks. So the output of one of them is the input of the next. So I take a little machine learning basically to see in my next case, there's something happening with water temperature. I basically use blockchain to make sure that my different kind of readings are really real. I use data intelligence or big analytics or big data, maybe some sensor data to basically craft something in data science, orchestrate it with RPA and bring it back to machine learning. And since 2020, we really have seen machine learning, conversational bots, and intelligent AI-driven RPA being the three big things that actually make startups, integrators, small software companies which in their technology in the larger companies, the Salesforce, the SAPs, and you name them. Now, it's important to say, for who do you do that? The last part of automation was actually the knowledge work, the accountant, the professional, the general counsel, people that were experts, professionals, specialists, and they thought they never were going to be automated. And suddenly they're not going to automate it as a job, but tasks one by one are automated by taking smart sidekicks on their shoulder that takes away that repetitive, mind-numbing job, comparing a bunch of unpaid invoices and reconciliation of the payments, comparing two contracts and seeing redlining where they have compared, taking pictures of your receipts and doing automatic expense management. I mean, we all hate expense management, right? So in 2024, our expectation is that intelligent technologies will actually have been used to reinvent, digitize, or eliminate 80% of tasks that were there in 2004. Just to make this very, very clear, in 2004, you went on holiday with a stack of CDs in your cars, a stack of booklets in your cars that were the Michelin guide or whatever guide you like. You basically had no clue when you were in the middle of nowhere because you had no GPS running at that moment, and your mobile phone, well, if it made pictures, was the size of a brick. And you still used to date in bars. 20 years ago, that was the norm. In the last 20 years, we have reinvented, digitized, or eliminated 80% of those tasks in business process and products. And the bulk of that has been actually in intelligent enterprise, artificial intelligence in enterprises. Because between those automated processes, machine processing, there's a human task. I have to look at the invoices and approve the difference for reconciliation. I have to look basically at the bonus and commission payments and say they are right. And these human tasks are mind-numbing, repetitive, and boring. But that's what is changing. So let's take an example, right? In 2020 to 2021, we haven't seen large, complex transitions in digital transformation. No, we have seen large systems basically powered by wedged in AI mini apps that does only one little task. And I'm gonna give some examples on that, right? So what we see, this is an IDC slide, we saw supplier scorecard analysis, real-time cash management, employee safety and well-being. How are you doing? Give me a pulse. All those kind of things we saw happening during COVID. We saw contactless payment, order tracking, curbside checkup coming, both internal and external, just to take care of my broken applications. If you were a large department store, you probably already had an internet portal, online commerce, the last 10 years. But most of those stores, especially the high ends, never got their inventory connected between their store and their online business. That meant when all those stores are closed, no employees couldn't get in, we were all sitting at home and Ted Baker beautiful printed jogging pants were sold out online and they were sweating away in stores and nobody could put them on sale. So those kind of things you solve by little wedges, by little parts. Let me give you an example that really created growth. So there's this coffee company in the US and they franchise coffee baristas and stores. They help them with equipment and they sell coffee. One of their automated triggers says in the area where some of our baristas are, because of the rain the last week, the water hardness has come up. The AI creates an automatic mobile conversational bot campaign. It figures out how much, what's the rate, how's it's going to go, and now we come with Alex. Alex is a barista. He has a small shop. He has like 4 people in it working. So if one of his machines goes down, this is not just missed revenue. This is basically clients that might go to another location. And he gets this virtual assistant that says, hey, water hardness has changed. Can we assist you in adjusting the knobs of your machine? And of course, Alex says yes. And at that moment, it said, Alex, open the camera. Alex opens the camera, and he basically holds the camera for the machine, and it shows him where he adjusts the knobs. It also, by the way, because of visual recognition, sees, hey, your filter is almost full. This is not something you and I do. These are industrial machines. Let's set an appointment at this moment up with one of our technicians. Let's schedule this. Now, all we did is predictive maintenance, but we made predictive maintenance an experience that actually helps us to sell more beans to Alex. Alex has less closing hours, and what we see at the moment, everybody wins. As a coffee company, we help Alex, we sell more beans, Alex sells more coffee, keeps his customers more loyal to him and not go to an alternative location, and he grows revenue, not just missed revenue. He is more faster, relevant, speedy, available than he ever was before. This is what AI did in a nutshell. Now, what we saw in 2020, 2021, a lot of those mini apps that automatically inserted themselves in the process. Where's my order? Contactless payment, curbside check-in. How are you doing? 3 questions every day to an employee, including words that could be parsed, but also internally in a company. What's my real-time cash position? Are there new suppliers that actually have capacity nearby? All those things that were not in the normal systems there, on-demand analytics, on-demand tasks that had to be patched in. So what we saw is inserting in these blue parts, in the human parts, those mini apps that basically have made our expectation that 30% of knowledge workers' tasks were automated in 2018. With the speed up in 2020 and 2021 we've seen, we expect that task augmentation or task automation for experts and knowledge workers will go up to 50% in 2022. That's enormous. 40% of your routine and data intensive administrative tasks are 47% of work. Wouldn't you, as an educated expert, really do some more interesting work than comparing invoices, contracts, just with your eyes because a machine can't do it? So where do you start? You take a human desire, you take a process that has been around, something that know you well. Take something simple. Don't say, oh, there's new tech for new problems. Yes, new tech, new problems, great cases, Airbnb, Uber, we all know that. But it's actually the most boring, mundane tasks that have been slowly automated the last 2 years and give the big bucks. They drive revenue and do not just take away at the bottom, but they drive top line growth. So how do we know this? Because we're SAP. 77% of the world's transactions run to SAP. The coffee cup that sends it you right probably has been produced by somebody using SAP. If not, it's the distributor used SAP. And actually 80% of our companies are small, right? 97% of the greenest companies use us. So when we see those kind of things happening by our clients, right, we basically say, how do we make this available? So if you're a developer or you're a startup or you're a venture capitalist and you're investing in how do I connect this technology that we're involved in with the large companies in the world, the 77%, mostly Western, that actually use SAP, then basically go to API, sap.api.com, api.sap.com, and there's a plethora of free APIs that let you directly get your solution with, for instance, a retail catalog or an online catalog of clothing in SAP, because the clients runs this. So in this, I think I got my 10 minutes done, Chris, within time and budget. Thank you so much. Google my name, you find a bunch of articles. Go to SAP Intelligent Enterprise, you find more. Want to play with api.sap.com, knock yourself out. What we see is the best success in AI for companies like SAP is actually in a partnering with small companies that come with these these mini apps that basically reintegrate the broken processes that COVID has really exposed. Thank you so much.